7 dangerous fruits that secretly weaken seniors' legs, and what to eat instead. Part 1. The hidden dangers of common fruits. Introduction to Part 1. The deceptive sweetness. As a physician who has spent over 3 decades studying the intersection of aging, nutrition, and musculoskeletal decline, I've learned one truth that still surprises my patients. Some of the sweetest, most innocent-looking fruits can quietly chip away at the foundation of your strength, your legs. You see, leg strength isn't just about muscles or exercise. It's a delicate dance between circulation, nerve health, blood sugar control, and inflammation. And the older we get, the more every bite we take either supports or sabotages that balance. Sadly, many seniors unknowingly choose fruits that taste refreshing but trigger hidden processes that lead to swelling, stiffness, or even dangerous falls. Let me take you into the stories of real people like Reggie, Clara, and Elsie, whose daily fruit choices silently undermined their ability to walk, balance, and stay independent. Alongside their stories, we'll dive into the science that explains why these fruits affect aging bodies differently, and how seemingly small choices can ripple into big consequences. 1. Pineapple. Reggie's bruised calves and the inflammation nobody saw coming. Reggie was 74 when he first came to my clinic with an odd complaint. His calves were bruising easily, and he often felt a strange tightness in his ankles after his morning walks. At first glance, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. His heart was strong, his circulation decent for his age. But after some digging into his diet, we found a surprise. He was drinking pineapple juice every morning, sometimes with slices added for extra sweetness. Now, pineapple is known for its tropical flavor and its enzyme bromelain, which actually has anti-inflammatory effects in certain conditions. However, it's also incredibly high in natural sugar and acids. For someone like Reggie, who was already on a blood thinner, the bromelain amplified the effects, leading to easier bruising. What's more, the constant sugar and acid exposure likely inflamed the delicate blood vessels in his lower legs, contributing to his discomfort. The takeaway? Pineapple isn't inherently bad, but for seniors, especially those on medication or with sensitive circulation, it can act more like a trigger than a treat. 2. Bananas. Clara's surprise swelling. Clara, age 78, swore by her banana-a-day routine. Keeps the cramps away, she'd say. And yes, bananas are famous for their potassium, a mineral that helps regulate muscle contractions. But Clara had a history of mild heart failure, and her ankles were swelling unpredictably. It wasn't until we examined the ripeness of her bananas that we found the connection. Overripe bananas are packed with simple sugars that are quickly absorbed into the bloodstream, causing an insulin spike. For older adults, especially those with compromised kidney or heart function, this spike can lead to water retention, particularly in the lower limbs. The sugar in ripe bananas also promotes systemic inflammation when consumed daily. We switched Clara to smaller, less ripe bananas a few times a week. Paired with a bit of protein, the swelling diminished, and she didn't lose her beloved fruit entirely, just learned to use it wisely. 3. Grapes. Elsie's gout flare-up. At first glance, grapes seem harmless, tiny, juicy, and packed with antioxidants. But when Elsie, an 81-year-old with a history of joint pain, began snacking on them by the handful, trouble followed. She came in complaining of sharp pain in her big toe and stiffness in her knees. Blood work confirmed a spike in uric acid. The culprit? Fructose, the natural sugar in grapes. Unlike glucose, which is used by many cells in the body, fructose is processed almost exclusively by the liver. When consumed in excess, especially from high fructose fruits like grapes, it gets converted into fat and uric acid, both of which fuel inflammation. The result was a textbook gout flare, worsened by the fact that grapes are easy to overconsume. We replaced them with low fructose berries and encouraged hydration. Her symptoms eased within weeks. Scientific insight. Why these fruits affect seniors differently. There are 3 primary reasons why these fruits can quietly degrade leg health in older adults. Insulin sensitivity decreases with age. Seniors often have reduced insulin sensitivity, making their bodies more reactive to sugar spikes. Fruits with high glycemic loads can cause dramatic blood sugar fluctuations, which impair nerve signaling and muscle response. Medication interactions. Many seniors take medications like blood thinners, diuretics, or statins. Compounds in certain fruits, like bromelain in pineapple, can enhance or interfere with these drugs, often worsening side effects. Increased inflammatory response. Aging immune systems tend to be more sensitive and less regulated. The sugar and acid content in certain fruits can act as inflammatory triggers, particularly in joints and soft tissue. A word of caution, not fear. Let me be clear. I'm not saying fruits are bad, but I am saying that not all fruits are created equal for aging bodies. When you're over 60, the same fruit that once gave you energy in your 30s might now be the reason your legs ache after a walk. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore how these silent saboteurs connect to deeper inflammatory patterns, what science says about leg weakness in aging, and how you can begin to reclaim your strength without giving up the joy of eating sweet, juicy foods. Stay with me. This may be the chapter that keeps you on your feet, literally. Part 2. The Sugar Trap in Disguise. 4. Watermelon, Frank's swollen ankles and the summer mistake. Frank, 82, came into my clinic in early August complaining of swelling in his knees and ankles that made it nearly impossible to stand for more than 10 minutes. When I asked about his hydration habits, something I always check during hot months, he proudly told me he ate watermelon every day. Sometimes more than once. Keeps me cool and hydrated, he said. But watermelon has one of the highest glycemic indexes among fruits. This means it causes blood sugar levels to rise quickly, especially in seniors with already lowered insulin sensitivity. And while watermelon contains lots of water, the sugar spike can cause the kidneys to retain more fluid, leading to swelling in the lower body. For Frank, this meant fluid pooling in the soft tissues of his knees and ankles. We adjusted his intake, replacing large watermelon portions with cucumber and a handful of berries. Within 2 weeks, he reported walking comfortably again. 5. Oranges, Darlene's morning citrus and joint pain mystery. Darlene, a 76-year-old retired teacher, had a curious case of morning joint pain, especially in her hips and knees. Her diet was nearly textbook perfect: whole grains, lean protein, lots of vegetables. The only standout? 2 oranges every morning. Oranges are rich in vitamin C, but they also contain citric acid and sugar. In older adults with sensitive joints or arthritis, the acidity can exacerbate inflammation. What's more, starting the day with a sugar load, even from natural sources, can set off a cascade of inflammatory reactions. After switching to a warm papaya smoothie with chia seeds and a bit of cinnamon, her pain diminished significantly, and her energy in the morning improved. 6. Green apples, Carl's mysterious hip pain. Carl, 80, was a former hiker who suddenly found himself unable to walk uphill without hip pain. His scans showed no major degeneration, so we dug deeper. Turns out, he'd replaced desserts with 2 green apples a day. Green apples are often praised for their tartness and fiber, but they're also high in malic acid, which can irritate aging digestive systems. When the gut becomes inflamed, that inflammation often spreads systemically, affecting hips, thighs, and knees. The fructose didn't help either, contributing to more erratic blood sugar patterns. We modified Carl's routine: half a green apple with almond butter and a boiled egg. Within 3 weeks, he was back on his trails. 7. Mango, Sylvia's nerve sensitivity surprise. Sylvia, 79, started having tingling in her feet, first occasionally, then persistently. We checked for diabetic neuropathy, vitamin deficiencies, circulation, all normal. Eventually, we looked at her food journal and saw it: half a mango in her cereal every day. Mangoes can contain up to 45 grams of sugar in a medium fruit. That sugar spike was likely aggravating her nerve endings and contributing to inflammation around sensitive areas like the knees and ankles. Once we substituted in avocado slices and nuts, the tingling gradually disappeared. Her mango? Now a monthly treat. Healthier alternatives for leg strength. Not all fruits spell danger. In fact, some are ideal for seniors looking to protect their legs and maintain independence. Berries, low in sugar, high in antioxidants. Cherries, help reduce joint inflammation. Papaya, gentle on digestion, rich in enzymes. Avocado, a fruit by classification, packed with healthy fats. Pears, low glycemic index, especially when paired with fiber or protein. Conclusion: choose with wisdom. Age with power. Every fruit tells a story. Some whisper of strength, others of silent inflammation. As we age, the margin for dietary error grows thinner, but so does our potential for reclaiming control. By being thoughtful about the fruits you eat, you're not just feeding your body, you're supporting your legs, your independence, and your freedom, because strong legs don't just walk, they carry you through the life you deserve. And that, dear listener, is the kind of nourishment worth choosing every day. Part 3. Rebuilding leg strength, one bite at a time. Introduction to Part 3. Turning the corner. By now, you might be re-evaluating the contents of your fruit bowl. And that's a good thing. Not because fruit is the enemy, but because knowledge is your new ally. Once you understand how your body changes with age, you begin to see that the path to strong, pain-free legs doesn't lie in cutting everything out. It lies in knowing what to keep in, and what to replace. When my patients begin eliminating their personal trigger fruits, the improvements often come swiftly: less swelling, more stable steps, easier mornings. But the real transformation happens when they add back the right foods, those that nourish muscles, calm inflammation, stabilize nerves, and feed strength, not sugar. In this part of our journey together, I'll introduce you to 3 superfruits and supportive foods I regularly recommend to seniors who want not just to survive, but to stride confidently into their golden years. The power of blueberries. Mildred's return to gardening. Mildred was 83, spry in spirit but plagued with unpredictable leg fatigue. Walking across her garden left her breathless and unstable. She had cut out high-sugar fruits after reading about inflammation but wasn't sure what to eat instead. We introduced half a cup of fresh blueberries daily, combined with protein-rich Greek yogurt. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, plant compounds with powerful anti-inflammatory and circulation-boosting effects. They also help reduce oxidative stress, which directly impacts how your nerves fire and how your muscles recover. Within a month, Mildred was back among her tomatoes and lilies, pruning with steadier hands and steadier legs. Cherries. Robert's joint rescue. Robert, a 77-year-old former golf coach, had resigned himself to stiff knees and aching hips. He assumed it was just old age, but when I suggested he replace his afternoon cookies with a small bowl of tart cherries, he was skeptical. 2 weeks later, he came back with a smile and a question: "Doc, was it really that simple?" Yes, it can be. Tart cherries contain compounds that reduce uric acid and suppress C-reactive protein, an inflammation marker that wreaks havoc on joints and connective tissue. They also help regulate melatonin, which improves sleep, vital for muscle repair. The result? Less pain, more energy, and, surprisingly, better balance. Papaya and avocado, the gentle giants of leg health. What I love most about papaya is its kindness to aging guts. Its enzyme, papain, helps digestion and reduces bloat, both of which can indirectly affect leg circulation. Paired with a few slices of avocado, which is technically a fruit, you get a duo that stabilizes blood sugar, reduces joint pressure, and fuels long-lasting energy. Take Betty, 79. She'd been dealing with chronic plantar fasciitis and calf tightness. We rebuilt her breakfast: papaya chunks, avocado slices, a sprinkle of flaxseed, and a boiled egg. Within 6 weeks, her morning limp disappeared. No medication, no surgery, just food doing what food was meant to do. The hidden link: gut health and leg strength. I want to share a truth many doctors overlook. Your gut health is directly tied to your leg strength. When your gut is inflamed, whether from sugar, acids, or food sensitivities, it doesn't just affect digestion. It affects your immune response, your nutrient absorption, and your systemic inflammation. An inflamed gut means less magnesium, less calcium, less B12, all essential for muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and energy. It's no surprise, then, that many of my older patients with leg weakness also suffer from bloating, irregularity, or heartburn. This is where choosing the right fruits, low acid, low sugar, rich in enzymes, becomes more than a diet choice. It becomes a therapy. Simple daily habits to support strong legs. Let's shift from theory to practice. Here are 5 simple, Senior-friendly habits I often recommend to rebuild leg resilience through diet. Start the day savory, instead of fruit-laden breakfasts. Go for eggs, spinach, and a side of berries. It stabilizes blood sugar and reduces morning stiffness. Pair fruit with protein or fat. This slows sugar absorption and reduces inflammatory spikes. Think apple slices with almond butter, or berries with cottage cheese. Hydrate smartly. Too much fruit juice can silently overload the kidneys. Sip plain water, herbal teas, or infuse with cucumber and mint for variety. Use fruit as a treat, not a staple. Save mangoes or bananas for once or twice a week. Enjoy them, savor them, but don't rely on them daily. Incorporate anti-inflammatory spices, cinnamon, turmeric, and ginger help offset the effects of occasional sugary fruits and support joint health. A final reflection before we continue. I often tell my patients, your legs are your freedom. They carry your groceries, take you to the garden, help you dance at your granddaughter's wedding, or stroll with your spouse at sunset. And while exercise matters, food is the silent architect of your strength or your struggle. So as you digest this part of our journey together, take a moment to look at your own habits. Are they building you up, or quietly breaking you down? In our next section, we'll dive into the worst times of day for seniors to eat sugary fruits, and how mistiming even a healthy snack can derail your circulation, energy, and muscle recovery. If you've ever wondered why you feel strong one day and wobbly the next, the timing of your food might just be the answer.